All right, so album time?
Album time.
All right, you want to talk about it?
So this album is 3 years in the making. And when we first started collaborating, we didn't even have a collab name at that point. It was still just going to be Forsetî and Viligir. So, yeah.
We got the wacky idea to make another alias.
Yeah,
specifically
another
for fantasy,
alias.
Fantasy dance music.
It's been a long journey of twisting turns to figuring out how this album is going to turn out. From the start, though, after a few songs we collabed on, I got the idea of a larger narrative for the album, and then that's when everything kind of clicked into place. So this album, it's a journey about a character. He starts in the desert and is called on a heroic quest, travels through the desert, then into an ancient magical forest, through the forest to the edge of the ocean, and then goes underwater for the last part of his journey to summon a demon, basically.
Nice.
To fight like an elder dragon, basically.
An unexpected journey.
An unexpected journey, yes.
And like each track is a portion of that story, right?
Yeah, the album is 10 songs long. The last song, track 10, is just like the final battle between the demon and the dragon, basically. But the first 9 songs, the first 3 are the desert-themed ones, the next 3 are the forest-themed ones, and then the last 3 are the ocean-themed tracks. So, and that story, that idea, actually really influenced the production throughout the album writing process.
Absolutely.
Like, literally every single song, whether it was production, sound design, mixing, like, I always had in the back of my mind, like, what it's a desert theme song, what would that sound like? It's a forest one, what would that sound like, etc.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with the desert.
Yeah, the first song, this one's called Ancient History. And this is the first song that we collabed on in person. It's not the first song we ever collabed on, but the first one, like, in person, working on the same computer. And without further ado, Ancient History.
Let's do it. That's really cool.
I love
Nice.
the intro to that song.
Yeah.
That bass, whoa. It sounds like a giant waking up or something.
That melody idea is just so cool.
The one in the middle.
Just all of it. Like the bass line.
And you can definitely hear like the sand.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
parts of the track, so really immersive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The next two songs
We'll play them back
are
to back.
we're playing back to back. The first one is called Starlit Dunes, and it actually first premiered in its original form on my Gradient set when my release An Exercise in Mindfulness came out.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
it's,
an amazing set, also.
Thanks. It's the original version is just synthesizers, and it's very Dune inspired, and it still sounds like the desert. So, hey, Infinikid, thank you, man. Thank you for being here. And so I sent the original, my version, to Levi for this album because it's very desert themed, and
I didn't change it much. I think I only added a bass, like just a little bit of low.
you added all the orchestra.
Oh, of
Starlit
Starlit
Dunes.
Dunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starlit. So that's the first. That's track number 2. It was first just synthesizers, and then Levi added a bunch of orchestra stuff, and it turned into what it is now. And it goes right into the next song, which was our lead single, "Phantasm," featuring Pastelle.
Oh yeah.
Shout
And
out
that's-
Pastelle.
Shout out Pastelle. That's a cool story. So I was just streaming one day the album production, a later song called Coral Cart. We were just producing it. I was live streaming, and Pastelle came into my stream because she saw that I was making fantasy music, and because she does a similar thing, she's into fantasy. So like we met on Twitch basically, and developed a friendship since then. And eventually we asked her to sing on this track,
And she nailed it.
and she nailed it, dude.
Perfection.
She nailed it. Yeah. I wrote most of the lyrics, and Levi helped write them too. And what was the production story behind this song? Behind Phantasm? I forget how it started.
I don't. It was so long ago.
it was
It's
so
like
long ago.
A year and a half ago.
You may have heard it when you first started it.
Yeah, but so that's track 3, Phantasm. It has one of my favorite melodies on the album, I think. It's the one with the Santur dulcimer sounding instrument right in the middle. It's definitely one of the strongest melodies on the album.
I think the original take of the song didn't have as hard of a second drop,
No, it didn't.
but now it has just a crazy triplet second drop that we added, and really adds some grit to the story of the desert.
Yeah.
There's some sand in his boots.
Yeah, it's definitely a gritty song. Cat on the Stream.
Cat on the stream. Look at him. He's just chilling.
Stream.
All right.
All right, here we go. Starlit Dunes in Phantasm.
It's time.
Thank
His
All
tail
right.
going.
That concludes the desert part of the album. One more thing I wanted to mention about that song, Phantasm.
My God.
Right before the second drop, it's just this weird sound that goes wow, wow. It sounds really like resonant and reverby. The original sample is just Levi like in a Discord session on Twitch or something, just going just like making the weirdest
seriously?
fucking chicken noise.
Oh shit.
And I recorded it and we turned it into that.
That's crazy.
So elegant.
Yeah, so elegant.
It's basically that noise.
That was a bang.
Highly intentional.
Yeah, very
Yeah, it very
intentional.
fits the story of the
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Okay, on to the forest.
Yes, the next song is a breakbeat kind of song, breakbeat and classic house sounding song. And for this one specifically, I remember I headed in to the production session with the intention of making like the most foresty sounding thing I could. So all the synthesizers and everything are just made with that in mind. And then once I did most of the instrumental, I sent it to Levi, and he just wrote amazing lyrics and like sung on the song. So these vocals you're about to hear are Levi's, and it turned out just amazing. Definitely one of the highlights of the album, and it was the second single too. Anything to add?
A lot of vocal tracks on this one. I think it's about 25, including a vocoder that has about 7 channels, and then 7 channels of vocals, and then a lot of effects channels
Yeah,
on the vocals.
Nice.
and it still turned out like very clean sounding vocals.
Amazing.
Yep. Here we go, Refuge.
That was
Yeah.
Refuge. One more thing I want to say about that song is those breakdown chords you hear in the middle and at the end there. I wrote those as a placeholder. Like I had all the mind to like change those chords out at some point, but Levi liked them so much he convinced me to keep them in.
One of my favorite parts of the track.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Good tune.
All right, the next song.
Favorite song.
Yeah, this is both of our favorite song. This song was like perfect. Like
The first attempt.
like we did this. This is another song we did in person together, like on the same computer. Like first session, knocked out a huge chunk of it, and like totally happy with it. Second session, finished it, no problems. That was like 2 years ago. And then when it came to finally mastering the album and mixing it just a few weeks ago, like we pulled up the session and like literally the most minimal changes ever. It was just like the most perfect writing session.
Nice.
And it,
Love
yeah,
that.
it was
That's
just,
satisfying.
Sessions
when it
like that
happens.
are the best.
yeah, like lightning in a bottle for sure.
Yeah.
And
This is definitely, to me, this is the most foresty one, for
Yeah.
sure. Refuge is pretty foresty, but Heart of the Forest is definitely...
yeah, it's in the name.
Had this one on repeat for a while. Thanks, Valency.
Yeah.
Valency's our biggest supporter. He's 90% of our streams.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Valency.
Thank you all.
Shout out.
Shout
to
out
you.
Valency. Hit him up for graphic design. He's one of the best.
Yeah, he did both of our logos for Fae Wild and for
And
World
World
Tree.
Tree.
Awesome.
Yeah. So shout out Bailey.
He doesn't miss,
It's
Take
not
note of
bad.
that.
and it reflects in
Yeah.
his 4,000 a day rate.
Might be higher than that now.
It's gonna be like 8,000 by the end of the stream.
Yeah.
All right, Heart of the Forest. Here we go. Sneak peek.
All right, the next song is super special. This is the very first song we ever collabed on. I sent him basically the whole like first minute or two. And then he added on to it, sent it back. I tried to add on to it, wasn't working. This song went through so many different iterations.
This is the hardest one.
Yeah, definitely the hardest one, just arrangement-wise, to nail. As far as mixing goes, Ancient History, the first song, that one was
Harder to mix by far.
way, way harder to mix. Like, definitely the most difficult song, but this one, arrangement-wise, was definitely the hardest.
So we just made it 8 minutes.
It's definitely, like, just the 8-minute epic of the album for being that long.
Oh boy.
It's got, like, a 2-minute intro, a huge first section, a really nice breakdown, guitar solo later, like...
Nice.
Yeah, this song is like the huge kind of penultimate moment of the album, or one of them.
And this is the last forest one, right?
This is the last forest one before we dive down into the ocean. Fun fact, we, at our first World Tree show up in Seattle, Ring 1, we actually brought like instruments out, guitars and his synthesizer and pedals and stuff, and we played this song live. Or like at least the guitar part, and same for Ancient History too. We played the guitar parts and on Phantasm. That was fun. I wish we did more live stuff. But,
It has the hardest guitar part I think I've written in it.
what on Phantasm?
The solo.
This solo? It's not that hard.
It's tricky finger.
It's tricky, yeah.
It's tricky. It's like complicated.
Especially if you don't have 24 frets. There's a really high pitch note that you have to hit the 24th fret harmonic, basically pinch harmonic. But yeah, that's tough. But we can do it though. We're pretty good guitar
Council of
players.
the Tide Pools, last 4 song.
Crazy hands.
8 minutes. That's a long
That
time.
was Council of the Tide Pools.
Good tune.
I forgot to mention, like, Levi killed it on the second half of that song with the second drop and the vocals.
Oh yeah, that whole section wasn't there
Yeah,
to begin with.
that was all like him, and it turned out amazing. So
Great magic toad sage of the sacred pond, what is your message?
yeah, that's the vibe of the
Ribbit.
song.
Ribbit is his message.
When we were first making this song too, I was rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I also heavily associate that song with Avatar.
That fits actually.
That's just like
Weeb.
my own personal weeb. That's an American show.
Kidding.
That's just like my own personal association on that song.
Probably can't say that on Twitch anymore. It's
Weeb?
banned. Probably
No.
it's a derogatory term.
Whatever. I am a weeb.
The
We are
next two-
all of us here.
The
Most of
next
us.
two are seamless, so we're gonna play them together.
Yeah.
But the first one is called Core Core. It's an instrumental track, purely symphonic. Like there's no
Yeah.
drop. Where's the drop? There's no drop.
Yeah, this is not a dance music song. This is literally like orchestral. And this is the song that I was producing on stream when Pastelle came and found me too. It's the first Ocean song. It's again in the production you can hear like the journey from the surface down below the waves, and the main character, the hero, he goes and meets basically an underwater civilization of merfolk, mer people. And like each section represents like, you know, some part of their civilization or some ritual they're doing or something. And then it goes seamlessly into the next song, Demergo, which is the name of that demon at the bottom of the ocean that they're trying to summon. And that's when he convinces like the merfolk to go down to like the bottom of the ocean to summon this thing. Merkin, yes.
Merkin.
Merkin. I'm Merkin. Yes.
Both of these tunes feature vocals from Nick and I, where we sat in the studio and went oh for about an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm
Anyway.
looking forward to.
Anything else? What else? Some sound effects made by forsetî.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
demon growls, some underwater sound effects. All were designed by forsetî.
Yeah.
And yeah, Coral Court and Demergo. Here we go. Back to back.
That's
That
nice.
was Coral Court and Demergo.
That's
Demergo
really
was
cool.
so fun to make. That one that we just ended on. Like,
Fun fact, in the studio, I was doing the screaming vocals, and Nolan didn't like it very much, so he bit me.
For real?
He got a little scared. I have to lock him out now whenever I do shouting.
Oh, Nolan.
the next song was the third single. This is Summoning. Now we're at the very bottom of the ocean, summoning the sea demon to fight the ancient dragon. That's but yeah, this is just a summoning ritual.
Love the genre bending in this album. Thank you, Infinite Kid.
Yeah, that was always like a goal of this album. Is just it doesn't matter what genre of dance music is, as long as it's fantasy inspired, like it fits.
You guys have this aesthetic rather than like a sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that is one of my favorite things about doing fantasy inspired dance music is that like you can like every single song that we've listened to so far is a different genre, but yet it's still like a cohesive story that it tells. And, like that's just like my favorite thing about it.
All right, Summoning.
Summoning. All right, we reached the end of the album. That was the journey through all the different environments, and now we are at track number 10, which is the final battle between the ancient dragon that's going to destroy the world and the sea demon we just summoned. This is definitely the biggest genre change on the album.
There's a reason why it's last.
There's a reason it's last, but it's still fitting. It's yeah, you'll see. I don't want to spoil too much. This is God's Clash.
a tune. What a tune.
That was
That's-
Doompy Loompy.
Banging.
That's
Aaron?
the album. Whose vocal was that at the end again? Someone famous. Someone on Splice.
Nice little clappy clap.
I can't remember.
Great job.
Interesting fact about that song, Levi produced pretty much all of it, attempting to sound like me. or like the first part, like the synthesizers and the drums and stuff. He produced it trying to sound like me. And I forgot to mention about Refuge too. I went into the session and produced it trying to sound like him.
I forgot about that. We had one song each that we were trying to replicate the sound.
Yeah. So that is Realms Revealed, our debut fantasy dance music album.
That's really a great album.
So good. So good as a debut.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Absolutely.
All right. We are going to head out now, I think. History in the making? I hope so.
It is. Sure.
It is indeed.
All right. Thank you all for being here, for joining on Twitch.
You can
and on
reveal my realms.
on Twitch and Instagram. Shout out you all for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to go hang out, eat some food, and talk to you all later.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.